Hey Taurus. There's some things I actually had to write down for you. Okay. First things first, all information to work with me is below one-on-one. The second part and the extended reading are both on Patreon. It's a different setup from here on out, most likely. However, and I feel like the messages are stronger. The talks are a little longer, but it's extremely beneficial. And I'm going to be extremely intuitive from here on out. I do look at certain things, but for the most part, I am an intuitive person, and that's my strong suit, and that's what I'm going to give you. There is certain things that you will understand about a Libra and a Taurus is that, yes, we are stubborn about things that are, and I have a Taurus rising too, so especially Venusian. This is the way it's going to be. We know. I'm just not being silly. So yeah, different setup. And the thing I want to talk to you about is you might feel like you need to cut something out of your life, and you're thinking about it because it feels impulsive. And this month, even though it's a season that is ever changing, it's more about you understand, very Venusian, the aesthetic of everything. So the example I would like to give is like, I am thinking about this too right now. My hair is getting to the point where it is almost like getting long, like very long again. And I haven't had this in probably 8 years. I had it very short for a while. But I also saw pictures of myself the other day where it was a little bit shorter and it was more of like a sharper cut. It wasn't as soft as this looks. And I'm just like thinking about it, you know? But I can do it at any point. But you can do it at any point. This isn't something a decision you have to make right away. However, this season could make you feel forced to do so. Something I like to practice, and if you're not great at visualizing, maybe write these questions out to yourself, or just kind of decide. Just go with the process. This is the process. Is that even if you can picture a couple different scenarios, you decide on one. Just as a game. You decide on one, and you're like, and a part of me is like, I can change something about me if it doesn't serve my best or isn't, is harming me or harming others in a certain way. I have a certain thing I've imprinted in myself, and this is something I'm offering to you too, just to practice, is like, you can change this decision, but you want to make this decision, see how your body feels, especially if you're someone who is extremely sensitive to the body, and most Tauruses are, if you don't realize it or not. That's why you do not say something until you're ready to explode. Sometimes you do not do more than you can. Sometimes it's why you have to remind people you do more than they realize, and if they don't start to realize, then boom. That's like almost a conversation that you're having with yourself right now. And it's really beneficial to do this because each time you listen to your body, it's like adding a push-up a day, if you want to equate it to working out. So anytime you do that, you're able to strengthen what's rebuilding inside of you and what's building new inside of you, because this cut that you want to make is going to change how others may perceive you at first, and as well as how you perceive yourself. It's going to change the aesthetic. Maybe you want to change like your style. Something else comes with it, which adds time, value, like just a change, more attention. And not that you're not used to attention, it's just different. It's a different kind of attention. My throat has been healing, so I'm gonna drink some water in and out, but I'm gonna try to duck out when I do it. Lime is very cooling, if you didn't know. Lemon is heating, lime is cooling, and I just love the way lime tastes. So I drink a lot of lime in my water, especially in the hot months, in case you're wondering. Something that you do so sweetly, so swiftly, sweetly, and easily is go through these changes. When you look at spring, it's kind of like I'm in awe of how different things bloom at different times, how each different plant needs maybe something needs a little less light or more light, and that's how they are where they tend to grow naturally, due to the whatever mutates or whatever forms in that heat, in that environment, which is like baking, putting all the elements together, and boom, you have your flour, or you have your cake, or you have whatever it is. You're in that process right now, but it's so beautiful to see how you do it so effortlessly. There's something so effortless about like, yeah, this is who I am now. Okay, moving on. And this is who you are now. And you have something that you've been waiting to show, that you even don't realize is going to be done this month. You so connected to your intuition this month. If you allow yourself to go through this, it's very important to feed yourself the right information right now. Those pages on the either side of the 10 of Swords is a very obvious notion that you're having to go over certain things that you've probably already processed to a certain extent. However, it's now this, especially if you're in your Saturn return, it's this very like, okay, you can end this now, and now you can have this new energy and see it wasn't that hard. But you can draw things out sometimes, but it's just a part of your nature because it looks so effortless, but we don't know if that flower or that stem that's growing or that new blade of grass is actually screaming. You don't know until you hook up one of those things and to it. I guess you can do that, and it usually sounds beautiful, but I haven't tested everything. And even though they're playing that music, it's just like anyone who creates art. Like a lot of times it comes from emotional place, whether it's joy or something that was really life-changing or impactful on either a positive or a negative way, and is coming out now, in my opinion, positively because it's coming out through a medium. That's something that you might want to focus on more. It doesn't feel forceful either. There's something easeful that starts to come out of you, and I would just go with it. It's helping you heal in a way that you didn't even know. It's helping you become more of a you that you didn't even know. But everyone else knew. And now you're seeing it more than ever, utilizing it more than ever. And this month, this is a beautiful thing in your mind. Okay, so this is like kind of easy. Not easy, but like very easy to explain. It's very cool. So that also might be a clue for you as well. So the Magician says you have a lot on your table and you have a lot to utilize, and you can use it however you'd like. But it's also going to reveal more about yourself. The way we do anything is the way we do everything, but it's also revealing how we've been like this for a long time, and it's in different areas in us. This is you getting so clear about whenever you need a break from this, you need to detach a little bit. Just go wherever you find peace and beauty. Maybe it's a museum, maybe just like independently, or maybe you need to be around friends and you feel that feeling. You know that feeling when you're just like even in the moment, and all of a sudden it comes over you, but you're in the moment and you just want to enjoy it and take it in as you will, and maybe you'll share later, maybe you won't, or maybe it was through pictures, or maybe it's through something you write later or paint later. There's this feeling of you're so present and so happy and so not even happy, but just so understood. It just got dark in the spotlight. You just feel like this beautiful light is around you and whomever you're with, and everything is right. And maybe it's sometimes at the beach on your own, even if people are there, or in nature, wherever it is, or whatever that looks like. Could even be in your own home, or maybe you learn to tap into this moment wherever you are. But you have this back and forth with this month, and it's actually going to bring so much more of what you don't realize is your intellectual into your physical environment. There's a lot of downloading. I know this is a lot. I did not see this coming, but this is why I needed to do. So I told Scorpio I needed to do like my full ass routine this morning. I have a very long routine in the morning, and I have to wake up earlier because of it, but I don't mind at all, because when I know I need it need it. And I like trust that more and more now, because I've really helped shift my body, because I've had a lot of different ailments on my body, in a way that the more I listen to, okay, maybe some weights today, just Pilates today, just yoga today, a walk and this today, like the more I listen to what I'm feeling or what my body, or like what keeps coming up in my head to do, because I'm also coming from a place of being a little stagnant for a while, couldn't do much. Each time that happens, I learn about myself, because I have quite a few stories about that. However, it's just making you realize your intelligence and how that combines with your intuitive, and how that is extremely powerful, and how you're just the power and the magnitude that come from that is maybe even overwhelming for you. The abundance and the fortune, like no matter what happens, there's so much like blessings coming to you, and your heart feels extremely expanded. It's being very clear about your needs and what you like, and maybe having gone through certain things to realize this, but you're able to put them into your life more. You realize how capable you are and how resilient you are, because you get up every time regardless. That however stuck you've been, or whatever if people just think you are, or if they call you lazy, or whatever they say about you when they don't know the background, they don't know what you've come to inside. You don't feel the need to explain, because there's something that happened. You realized what you need to do and how you express it, and if people don't get it, they don't get it. That back and forth helps you realize that you may, and you're good at this anyway, but there's an overemphasis this month because of how Virgo can be, is you're just wanting to give to yourself by creating and giving to others in any way that you perform art. Like for me, I know it's partially through my throat, and I have it is going through something, but I'm doing it anyway. It's getting stronger again. You find freedom to roam in throughout how you handle things before, and how you don't have to anymore, and it doesn't feel like this heavy attachment. It feels like something is like more of an interplay. It's very Sagittarian, because your emotions aren't as stuck, and they're more malleable, and you're utilizing them more. And when when you're in that zone, you're able to like really shift in this way where you get that cut. You cut something out, you cut it, and you do it. And it's not that it's something that you just want to change because of an aesthetic or like Libra. It's more like you're implementing into this life that you're stepping through, this new cycle, there's an impact on you from the planets as well. However, you don't want to dictate how people, what they want to hold you to. You don't even want to like help them. You're just being free, and that's what you're being more attached to, is you're the free expression of maybe what you've learned, and how you bring maybe your spirituality into what's going on. There's this emotional establishment within you. And I think more and more you'll find that this month, and for months to come, starting from the people closest to you, the people who aren't as close to you will realize that what you've gained is this stable, stubborn, secure sense of self, because you know and you feel the change continuously happening, that so much has even happened in the past couple years of your life that you probably couldn't have guessed, like the choices that you made. And now hear my voice changing, and here you are, and you realize you can handle a lot, but you'd like to take this moment and make it longer this time, instead of these small yet massive changes. You're running with this now, and you have that longevity for a while. It's just listening to when you need to take that break, or when you need to take a step back, because that kind of vulnerability and honesty, it's really just being honest with yourself. And you already know that, but you may feel like more of a different person because of all of this. And we have to remember that you can go fully into that. However, still having compassion to those who haven't adjusted, especially people who really love you. Even they sometimes just don't change right away. They're not always like, repeat who you, I know there's a huge trend going around with that, but there are people in my life that I'm willing to, like, if they say something and they're not used to me being a certain way, I just ask questions, or I just am I'm still somewhat compassionate. I've gone through moments, but I'm compassionate. I'm someone who asks questions. You don't have to necessarily explain yourself, but let them adjust to your view. You might even notice that people look at you differently, and it's not like they're looking at you differently. It's just like they're noticing you in a way that you've probably easily noticed them already. All right, Taurus. Very intuitive. And again, the second part extended will be in a link below. To work with me one-on-one is below. And my podcast, which is very vulnerable, is below. But something I'm excited about. I'll see you next month.